So I just saw Sausage Party. Pretty fucked up shit, but in the best possible way. I was excited to see Sausage Party. I'm a big Seth Rogen fan. I find him to be actually a really influential artist. I think he's actually a very good actor and a very good filmmaker. People don't really tend to take that opinion seriously when I state it to them because his sense of humor is admittedly very silly and his movies can be very juvenile. But not only do I find him to be very refined in his own little brand of comedy, I also find him to be among the company of artists out in Hollywood making movies that I actually really admire just for their artistry. Like in the same vein that I admire Ethan Hawke or Tina Fey. Now Sausage Party is about Frank, a hot dog, and Brenda, a bun. They are in love and they can't wait to be chosen by the people who they refer to as gods to reach the great beyond, which they refer to as outside the grocery store, and they can't wait to get together and for Frank to put his sausage in Brenda's bun. So that's the first 10 minutes, just exclusively dick jokes. And I do have to admit, I was a little bit scared. I had the conscious thought of, oh no, this whole thing is gonna be dick jokes, isn't it? But it's not. Gratefully, it gets more fucked up. And that's actually the number one thing that I love about Sausage Party. The concept of the movie, what brought us to the theater, is that it's a Pixar film about food that's just exposing how fucked up that concept is. So as the runtime goes on, the situations get more fucked up. Thus, the comedy increases. What I'm trying to say is that the movie doesn't blow its load in the first 10 minutes. This is a legitimate filmmaking compliment. The pace of the absurdity was very well done. People are going to be surprised by Sausage Party because it actually does have deeper meaning and implications. If you really go down the rabbit hole of analyzing this movie, it's about religion, war, genocide, cannibalism, sexism or body shaming, disability, but all at the same time it is a movie about food that's R-rated, and the movie will remind you of that. And honestly, that's kind of the brilliance of the movie, is that it'll delve into the deeper meaning stuff and intrigue you in that way, but then it'll do like a hard cut to remind you that we're watching a silly juvenile movie about food. And that joke itself that I just explained isn't overused. None of the jokes in the movie are overused. Everyone knows in comedy that you can only use a joke a couple times. And in Sausage Party there are 3 or 4 maybe run-on jokes throughout the movie. None of them are overused. The run-on jokes themselves actually evolve and give you that unexpected response that we long for when we're going to see a comedy movie. And I feel that there's this weird divide between like legitimately critiquing a movie and critiquing a comedy in film criticism today. But I want to look at the comedy and look at how it contributes to the story and the structure of the movie. And I legitimately think that the comedy in this movie serves a great purpose to the structure of the movie and the success of that structure. I find that often in Seth Rogen movies, the comedy comes straight from character, deep-seated insecurity, or character conflict, and the joke will be somewhat of a relief of tension or the crest of a wave or something like that. So the individual jokes themselves are moments of great emotional payoff, or as your traditional acting or script analysis teacher would tell you, beats. The individual beats in this movie change as the individual jokes hit. Thus, I think that Seth Rogen movies get away with their great improvisation in a very narrative sense. Now there's also another side to that coin. When a lot of your beats are built around the individual jokes and the success of those jokes, if the jokes don't hit, the beats don't really hit. And as funny as the movie is, not all the jokes work. I would say about 75-25% split of the jokes work. 75% of the jokes do work, 25% of the jokes don't really work. So in turn, that's loosely 75% of the movie's beats working. But in turn, that's also a quarter of the movie's beats being hit very softly. Like hitting a golf ball with a plastic sword. There are individual music cues in this movie that work greatly. I mean, seriously, watch this movie and then watch Suicide Squad for a study on why music cues work in certain films and don't work in other films. We're forever going to be talking about how much that movie sucks. And I feel that there's going to be a great reaction upon some of the more shock humor scenes. Some of the moments that I found to be big belly laughs. I feel like they're probably going to split people down the middle because They really go for it. It's ballsy, and it's juvenile and rude and big. I can clearly understand why a lot of people might be put off by said scenes in the movie. People that find those scenes offensive, I understand. They are pretty offensive. But let me shamelessly impose on you that the structure of the movie is exposing how fucked up this situation is. So for the situations that become of the story to get more fucked up, it's just following the vision to the nth degree. That's just what I think. But seriously, what did you think? Because that's an interesting conversation to have. As for me, I think the movie works on a very satisfying and fundamental level. Obviously, it's nothing life-changing. None of us really expected this movie to be The Godfather. But Sausage Party is a solid 7 out of 10. Which is a good rating, okay? People need to understand my rating system. I gave Citizen Kane a 9 out of 10. I don't give 10s to things. Accept it. On that note, have a great day.